But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Matthew 6, verse 33 and 34. Ladies and gentlemen, the table is set. God in heaven is present. You are invited to pull a seat and join us. Welcome to the men's table, where we discuss biblical manhood. On this show, we want to see men live their purpose in God. Want to see men be better brothers, better sons, better fathers. And I am your presenter, Mutumbali Tevele. Thank you for joining us. On the show today, I have,
You have who?
Okay,
Yeah.
relax. I mean, this entire violence is very unnecessary.
Nah.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're all doing well in the comfort of your home, wherever you're watching from. My name is Kaingu Silumesi. I honestly don't know how I can describe Mutumba in my life, because I don't know if he's my uncle, if he's my big brother. He's like everything in one, because I mean, he's seen me grow up, and anyway, that's who I am.
The weird, how do you define yourself by your relationship to me? You're supposed to tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, well.
But well, before you go there,
Yeah.
fine. Let us settle this.
Yeah,
If you call me big brother, all right,
yeah.
and then you call me big brother in front of your mom and your uncles, who call me brother.
That's where the confusion is.
Do you see how this, do you see how this confuses things?
Yeah.
The appropriate term is actually uncle at this point.
Wow.
But that's the problem when you look you look this youthful.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
When they're all grown, ladies and gentlemen, and now you almost look the same age and the same height. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, so as I said, my name is Kaingu Silumesi. I'm a student. I'm a Christian. I'm a musician. And I love ministry. I really just love, I love people, working with people, and I really just love having an impact in a way that can help someone achieve what they want to achieve. Yeah, so that's who I am.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get it started.
All right, let's go.
So I don't even know what direction we're going to take. We're just going to have a great conversation.
Cool.
But I did tell you why I wanted to talk to you. All right. So yes, I have seen you grow. I danced on your mom and dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't pull up those photos. Okay, that's then I couldn't dance though. That was so embarrassing. I was so nervous.
Just hope I don't find them. Because I know they're somewhere.
See, Kaingu, you shouldn't. These threats are necessary. Okay.
I mean, you brought it up. I
was nervous.
Yeah.
So I've seen you from that, right? And the place where you are right now, you're very active with ministry, right? And you're also doing school, right? So you are a young man who loves God, who is serving a church, who is also ministering with some very profound names. At the same time, you're also doing school, right?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Wow. On which side exactly?
On which side? Okay.
Yeah.
How do I lead you first? No. I probably left that hanging too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing all this, and I meet a lot of young men and women that they don't seem to be exploiting their fullest potential, right? If If I'm active with ministry,
Yeah.
I give an excuse for school. If I'm in school, I give an excuse for being committed at church. If I'm committed at church and doing school, I give an excuse for not doing,
Yeah.
ministry and business,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But here you are doing all three things, right? I'm sure it's not easy to balance.
Yeah, and it's not.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy to balance.
Yeah.
But you are active. You're loving God. You're committed at your church. You're serving at your church.
Yeah.
You're doing school, and you're also on road trips, ministering with artists.
Yeah.
Right. You're
Yeah.
keeping busy. I love that.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I love that, and it's important. It's important. It's important to exploit one's potentials and not limit yourself. So that is why I wanted to really have a chat with you, right? So let's start from the beginning.
Cool.
How did you get into music? Let's start there.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a very musical background, as you know, and as a few people would know. My uncle is a producer, keyboard player, like extraordinary instrumentalist.
Amazing.
Yeah. My mom sings. She was actually choir director in like my local church back home. My dad used to sing, even though I really can't remember those days. But I know, yeah, he used to
I've
sing.
been around him.
Yeah. Yeah. So my music really just started from the church.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever one goes for rehearsal, I mean, you're a kid, you can't stay alone at home. So we all go. And that's how the interest has developed. That's how I go to love being around music. And that's how, I guess, the music developed. And then I think I was like 5 or 6. That's when I got to learn how to play the drums because that was my first instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
I
is
started.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I started off on drums.
Uh-huh.
And then I played drums for a little while. Then there was a time when our keyboard player left. I think he came to Lusaka for school or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was that vacancy. So there was this man. He came from Lusaka. Actually, he came to Mongo. I think he was related to like the bishop at church.
Okay.
So then he was offering lessons to like a few selected people of the choir, saying, "I know you need to learn," because they needed someone to play. So
Right.
I was one of them. Even though I didn't like it, because I honestly felt that the keyboard was really like boring. I mean, a whole kid really just likes, playing around and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I learned how to play. And over the years, I got to like it. And I really
It took
like
you
it.
years to love the thing that you're so amazing at right now.
I know, right?
Kaingu. Really?
Don't blame me. I didn't know. I had no idea that I would really come this far.
Well, that's
And,
life, though.
Yeah, I guess that's how it started from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. And what church were you affiliated with back in Mongo?
So back in Mongo, we were with Mongo Assemblies of God. That was like our first church. But then we decided to make a move to Word Alive Church, which is now my profound church in Mongo.
I got you.
So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where the whole family is at now.
How was the transition when you changed towns? How's that?
I totally
I
get.
had a battle with that.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, no, I totally get.
How was yours like?
Yeah, so for mine, I actually didn't want to move. I actually wanted to stay at the church because, I was like, I have all my friends here,
Yeah.
now trying to move to a whole different church. So I was really scared and I really didn't want to. But then I think there was this one day when I just realized saying that I think I can learn so much more if I was to move because I felt I was a little bit stagnant in my music at the church I was at.
Okay.
So I personally decided to make the move. My parents already moved. I was going to a whole different church alone.
Okay.
At like, I think I was 12, I think, at the time. Like, I would get up at like, service used to start at, I think, like 8, 9, I think. So they used to get up to go to another church. I used to get up to go to another church. So
How was that conversation?
it was, because I think my mother just concluded saying, I'm just trying to be difficult. she just concluded that. She was like, no,
Okay.
we don't know what you want. So, you do you and we'll do us. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm continue going to my church. Yeah, until I had that realization and I was like, you know what, let me just make the move. And yeah,
Okay.
that's what happened.
I hear you. Which church did you move to?
We moved to Word Alive Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Mhm.
got you.
Yeah.
So mom and dad were still going to Pentecostal Assemblies of God?
No, they actually moved before I did.
Oh, so they moved.
Yeah, so they moved,
Uh-huh.
and then I didn't decide to move with them.
Aha.
So I was still at the church.
I got you.
Yeah, then after I realized, I said, I moved.
So now we get to Lusaka, right?
Yeah. So, I actually came to Lusaka because of school. So, yeah. So, when I just wrote my grade 9 exam, yeah, that's when we're looking for a school. So, my parents told me, saying, no, you're going to Charlotte Trust School. Yeah, you know that, rise, Charlotte. That, so, it was very exciting for me because, I mean, I've always seen this school on TV and things like that. So, yeah. So, I came to Lusaka. And then church-wise, I tried out a few churches, actually.
Church hunting.
Yeah, quite a few churches.
What were you looking for?
Well, okay, so here's my perspective on finding a church. So, like, for me, I really want to not just go to church and just, say, no, it was a good service, it was... I love to have an experience, like as much as we all worship the same God, but I mean, I love the creativity of how other things can be evolved into like the service in general, like how you would present the praise and worship, how you would present the preaching, So I look for things like that. So I think the first church I went to was there's a Pentecostal church in Oasis. So please forgive me, the wonderful members of that church. But yeah, but the few times I went there, I was like, nah, I don't think it's for me. Okay. Then I went to another Pentecostal church in Charleston, Gilgo Missions Church. I went there the first time.
I know Gilgo.
You know Gilgo, yeah. It's a brother church. So the first time I went there, I really didn't feel that welcomed. I have no idea why.
So you just didn't feel at home?
Yeah, I just didn't feel at home.
Okay.
I just didn't feel. So I was like, it's all good.
Okay.
So then from there, when I was looking for the church, it's like during the holiday. So that's how I just decided, let me just go back to Mongo. I mean, when I'm in school, I'm in boarding school. So we have like chapel there. Then when we close, I just used to go back home. I mean, church is there, everything is there. Then until this one holiday, I just decided, saying, you know what? Let me continue to find a church. Let me continue to look for a church. Then
let's discuss the gap here. So wait.
Yeah.
This gap that you had, did this affect your growth in God when you were not doing church?
Not necessarily, actually, because we really had like a strong church, sort of like in school. So we had like a a chaplain in school. So yeah, no, we're pretty stable. And I mean, I was in like school for like even actually more than a quarter of the year.
Okay.
So it's like maybe just a month I'm home. So it was during that same time when I was trying to look for a church here.
Okay.
Like when we close in December and stuff. So yeah.
So now we come back and you're looking for a church again.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Then my dad just said, because he used to go to North Mid Assemblies of God back in the day,
I mean, come on.
Everyone did. So he just said, let's go to North Mid one Sunday. And from that Sunday, that was it for me.
It was the worship, wasn't it?
Yeah, it played a little bunch to it. I mean, everything else was amazing, but it really, I loved the worship. I loved the experience that, man, it changed my life. And I still remember that service from like even to today.
Whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
It was
All
really
right.
amazing. Yeah.
Walk me through it.
Yeah. How did that day even start? I think it was like the night before church. He said, okay, let's go to North Mead tomorrow. So I was like, okay, cool. We actually got there pretty late because, I mean, you know, when you're there like 20 minutes into service, like the place was packed.
Yeah, especially the morning service.
Yeah, especially in the morning service. Like the place was...
Morning service. Hey, if you're looking for a church and you're considering not with Assemblies of God,
Yeah.
just know that the morning service is lit.
Yeah.
You need to be there on time.
Yeah.
Gets packed.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So, yeah, so he told us the night before, and, well, I'm ready in the next day. So we got there. I think I was like 20 minutes into service. I think they were just about to finish praise. And that's the funny thing. They were about to finish praise and worship, and I felt so impacted. Like, I really loved just the bit of what I found. And then I think I was like 10 minutes from then. That's when we managed to get the seat inside. We heard the preaching. And yeah, I got to meet a few people from the worship team. They got to know I'm a keyboard player. They got to know I'm a musician. And yeah, we talked a little. And I guess that's how we left. And that's how I got to love North Mead. And that's my church now.
I got you.
Yeah.
So why I went directly to the worship is I once invited one of my brothers, right? And when he came, the thing that stood out for him was the worship. Yeah. The musicality at North Mead Assemblies is...
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, like they don't play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They don't play. There's a song I love.
Yeah. That
they sing. I love it. I love their version more than the original.
Really?
Yeah. It's Planet Checkers, Deeper. Yes.
Okay.
So I first heard it in church, right? I loved it. Fell in love with it. Wanted to go home and listen to the song.
Like the song.
I found that they had tweaked a lot of things. I was like, I mean, it's dope. It's good.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah,
So
that's one thing I love about my church. Yeah, we try to.
No. The musicality of North Mead Assemblies is it's really good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. How do we... Let me back it up a bit, actually. We're going to get to the question. The question I was going to get to is how do we start playing for artists and musicians? But I'm going to pause. I'm not going to go there yet.
All right.
Let's discuss salvation. You practically grew up in the church.
Yeah.
Right? I went to church with my mom, right? And even pinpointing the moment I got served, it's crazy because church as well. I've always been around.
Yeah.
I've always been around church. I've gone for the altar call so many given times.
Yeah.
The only moment that I can give is the moment when I decided to take God serious. But I've always known about God.
Yeah.
Right. What's your journey? How did you get to know God? How did you meet God?
Yeah. So for me and you, it's quite similar actually. But for me, everything changed in high school actually when I came to Lusaka, when I came to school. So
Chalo Trust.
Nice. Chalo Trust. So there was this one time. I think that was like we actually used to fast in school, like.
Chalo doesn't play.
We never used to play. And
I didn't know this.
And I really hope the standards are still like what we found and what we left.
Okay.
So yeah, we're pretty serious about, and that was like the worship team that we had in school. We were the ones that were fasting. So there was this one time, I think that was like the beginning, like when I just got to the school, because I just had that notion saying, no, I'm a Christian. I read the Bible. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then this one time, a big brother of mine, he was the head boy at the time, Samuel Sholeka. Shout out to him. Yeah, so he asked me this one question saying, do you really know God? If it wasn't for this instrument, would you be here? And I just looked at him and I was just like...
Oof, he challenged your gift.
Yeah. like, okay. Then I paused for a minute. We actually had a conversation from then. And then, little did we know at the end of it, he was there leading me to Christ, like a whole prayer, and that's how I think that's how I re-gave my life to Christ, and that's how that was actually the first time I actually spoke in tongues. Yeah, because it was
this was a packed moment for you.
like
You rededicate your life to God
Yeah.
and you speak in tongues. Jeez, man.
yeah, so it's like everything happened at the same time, and I was like, at first I was confused. Even like I remember that was during lunchtime. So like when I was going back for the afternoon class, I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, so it was really amazing, and I thank God that happened, because if that didn't happen, I was still going to have the notion of, I know God, I'm good, I go to church, but I didn't really make that decision on my own until that time. So yeah, that's what happened.
I hear you. I can completely relate with that. Having always been around my mom.
Yeah,
I mean, you know my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mom dragged us to church. So we're always around church, Sunday school, the Bible, fasting, all of it. And I usually put it this way. I borrowed my mom's faith for a really long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. But then I had to build my own relationship with God at some point.
Yeah.
So I do have my own moment as well that I can refer to and say, okay, but from this point on, though, I was accountable for my own Christian walk. This is the moment. It may not be my salvation moment, but it's my dedication moment. Yeah. So I hear you. I hear you. Okay.
Cool.
All right. How did you deal with my parents are saved. I'm found around. How do I want to phrase this? But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing to be raised around God, things of God, right? But it can also be difficult finding your own footing with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you can just go with the flow.
Yeah.
There's going with the flow, but there's making a, how to put this? It's almost like a career. Put it this way. So if your parents have a certain career and they're raising you to follow that career, sometimes you can feel like you're just going with the flow of it, and it doesn't mean anything. To you.
Yeah.
Right. How did you deal with that? Did you deal with that? Did you have that?
Yeah.
Thing where it kind of you feel distance. You get what I'm trying to?
Yeah. No, I get you. No, I get you.
It's a difficult thing to explain.
Yeah. No,
did you have that feeling?
Yeah, I did have that feeling actually. A lot, especially in my childhood.
Right.
Like I could really feel saying, okay, you guys do this.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm gonna do it. So I think that really changed. I think at the point where I also re-gave my life to Christ. I think that's where the whole transformation changed, and that's how I found my way on how to continue and to build this relationship with God. And because I honestly, before that point, I didn't really used to read the Bible like
that.
Yeah, like that.
Right.
I mean, I would read, but it wouldn't be for the sake of me. It would be for the sake of, Kaingu's reading the Bible. He's doing all right. But it wasn't really for me.
Keeping up appearances.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yes, I do. So from that point on, it's like everything just changed for me, and that's how I found my footing, and that's how I knew saying, okay, yeah.
Did you ever deal with the pressure of you're the Christian kid, therefore everybody?
I mean, I still do, but I mean, I love it. To be honest, I love it.
Did you always love it?
Okay.
I
cool.
love it too now.
Yeah.
But I don't think I always did.
Nah. Okay. No.
No.
Nah. Growing up, yeah.
What's your story?
So my story, you know, I always wanted to be that cool kid. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like even when you go to church, but you don't want to talk about Christ. You know what I mean? That I was. You know what I mean? I think I was that kid.
Okay.
And now to even think about it, I thank God I'm not that kid anymore.
Yeah, no.
But now I'm not even ashamed. You know, even like for some gigs that I would go for, you know, they'll start calling me the church boy, and you know, I'm like, I'm cool with it. I mean, that's who I am.
This is who I am.
This is who I am. So I'm not ashamed of the gospel. I'm not ashamed of anything. And yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
How did you deal with it?
Or how did I
How did you deal with the expectations from friends, communities that you go into during that time?
Yeah.
Before, more specifically, before you actually dedicated yourself, the pressure of it, the expectation. It's similar to the pastor's kid syndrome.
Okay.
That one is worse.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
But
Crazy.
when people know that your parents are very active people in the church, yeah, everybody expects you to be the church kid at school, to be the church kid. There's that expectation.
Yeah.
How did you deal with it?
I was truly just being me, and just letting people know, saying this is who I am. And if anything happens, I mean, things happen. You know what I mean? I'll honestly just try to not trying to live my life to show them that I'm the church kid, but just trying to do me. You know what I mean? If by any chance, let me just give an example.
Sure.
If they find me listening to secular music, if they find me, you know, talking a certain way, or you know, such examples.
I get you.
So I'll just let them know, saying, "Yo, let me do me. I mean, you know, that was back then. Let me do me." You know what I mean? I'm the church kid. Doesn't mean I'd have changed or anything, but let me do me. I mean, it's not like you guys don't do this. Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
That was before that.
Yeah, that was before.
All right. The transition happens.
The transition happens.
What changes in your mind about how you perceive yourself when people see you as the church guy in the room?
Really what changed was me understanding, how would I put this? Wow, it's actually really hard to answer too. But anyway, understanding that there are really certain things that you do that would really carry a spirit with you. You know, even like the whole listening to certain music, like I used to, I try as much now not to. Yeah, but with my job, I really can't run away from it entirely. But yeah, so I really try to stay away from things that will not only paint a bad picture about me, but would carry a spirit that would speak against me in a certain way. You know, so even like how it's different from back then is that I'm really just trying to be as transparent as I can in terms of like what I do, what I say. If I say I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this. If I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So it's really that transparency and how I would carry myself, in short.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, you're through to the men's table. We are speaking to Mr. Kaingu Silumesi, keyboard extraordinaire. Wait, do you even still play the drums?
Nah.
You abandoned your first love.
It's not my fault. Blame the church in Monk. Because I mean, if it wasn't for them, I would still be a drummer
Bishop
by now.
Sluamba is going to come after you.
Nah, I don't think so.
You're blaming this on the Pentecostal.
I mean,
All jokes, all
Yeah,
jokes. Love
yeah.
Bishop Sawamba,
Yeah.
amazing man, amazing family. If you're listening in, you're an amazing man of God. We appreciate you for your labor at Pentecostal Assemblies of God, Mongo.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. So you're through to the men's table. If you're just joining us, we're speaking to Mr. Kaingu Silumesi.
Yes, sir.
All right, what did I want to get to? Okay, so I'm listening. I'm listening in. I'm listening in. I'm young. I'm the church kid around my people. Church kid or church girl. You know, everybody knows my parents are saved, or everybody knows about my walk with God. And how old are you, by the way?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I turned 20 last month.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I was expecting a reaction.
you expecting that reaction?
Yeah,
Okay.
something.
This
similar.
is a little surreal. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Why I needed you to put your age out there is I'm hoping from your story,
Yeah.
somebody else can be encouraged out there, which is why I'm coming to my next question. This is a real thing among us young people. I've been young too. Like I know the pressure that comes upon you. Want to be cool.
Yeah,
You want to fit in.
yeah,
And being a Christian is something that people do make fun of.
yeah, yeah.
Right? They call you pastor. Not
Yeah.
not really to celebrate the
Yeah,
pastoral,
yeah.
but to mock you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. Okay, so you have a young girl or a young man right now who's listening in, and they're listening like, oh wow,
Yeah.
Kaingu's 20. Okay, he's close to my age. I'm battling with this. In my circles, people make fun of my walk with God, and it makes me uncomfortable. It even makes me uncomfortable to share the gospel, to even evangelize, to even raise my hands when people ask in the room if there are any Christians. What would you advise somebody, a young man or woman who's in that predicament?
I think the only thing that I would say that also kept me is just keep your standards, keep your principles. Because the people around you are going to see them and they're going to know how to react when you're in the room. For example, if I was to walk into a room with my friends, like, you know, my friends back in high school, they would know saying they can't speak a certain way when I'm around.
Right.
Yeah. Because they know saying, okay, this guy, he has his principles, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. So if you really just live your life like that, people around you will just
They'll adjust to you.
they will adjust and they will adapt to how you do your thing. Yeah. And if your friends are still going to be stubborn around that, well, I mean, the solution to that is really just to find new people to be around. Maybe I think maybe that's a sign from God saying you really need to, you know, step up and just
Find new friends.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to find new friends in any situation?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Ish. What happened?
Okay, well, not really saying I've told this one, saying, no, you're not my friend anymore, you know, things like that, but really just letting them know in a subtle way, saying that we can't do this anymore if you can't act like this or if you can't be like this around me, because I'm not going to be like that.
Okay.
You know, so I set those boundaries and looks like they didn't want to comply, so I really think
withdrew
that's
yourself?
I withdrew myself, and that's how we move on.
I hear you.
Yeah.
There's a statement that I believe. I live by it, actually. You teach people how to treat you. And it falls in line with what your advice is, right? What you condone, the boundaries that you don't set, the boundaries that you cross and let people cross around you, that establishes how people are going to adjust around you. So if people are a certain way around you, it's because you've made an allowance for it most of the time.
Exactly.
So, for example, if people cuss around you and they know that you're saved, and this is the language that they even speak to you with, it's because you made an allowance for it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's up to you to readjust your boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing I wanted to ask you is, okay, so well and good. This advice is sound. This is what I'm going to do. Great. I'm going to make my friends adjust to me, and I'm going to stick to my boundaries.
Yeah.
Well and good. That puts a target on my back. Oh, so you don't cuss?
Yeah.
You're laughing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
No,
exactly.
I totally,
right?
I get it. I get
So you don't do this. So you think you're better than us.
Yeah.
Now it puts pressure. It puts pressure on you to act a certain way.
Yeah.
And now you're no longer living from a free place. That's not to say that you how do I say? That's you're no longer living from a free place. You are afraid of what you're living from a place of being afraid of what people think of you when you err, forgetting that we're human beings and you might err.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Instead of living from the grace of God. And grace is not an excuse for us to sin. No, it's not. But it's an excuse for us to live freely in God, right? So this person is now walking around. Yeah, Kaingu advised me to do this. Now I have pressure.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching my language,
Yeah.
watching my every step, watching what I'm doing, and I'm anxious all the time. How do I deal with this? How do I deal with the moment that I do error? How do I give myself grace? What is your advice to a young man or woman in that situation?
Yeah. I've actually gone through it a couple of times too.
Ash, what happened?
What happened? I'm trying to single out a particular scenario. I think because I play basketball too, so I think out of frustration of I don't know what transpired
Lakers
in
or
the
Warriors?
game. Yeah.
Where you at? Just know that Uncle Shewo is with the Warriors and I'm with the Lakers. So let's.
Now we're together.
All right, my
together.
guy. So what's up?
We're together.
That's
I just really hope that you're not with the Warriors, so that at least I have someone to be with.
I do love them.
Yeah.
I do love them. They're dope now.
Yeah.
All respect. They play hard.
They
They play hard.
hard.
But now I'm with the Lakers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, I think we're playing basketball at school, and then out of frustration, I cussed. Like I think I said something that was like, yeah.
It was heated and competitive.
Yeah, it was, and I was like, I didn't even realize it in the moment. Everyone just paused, and they were like, "What just happened?" I looked at her, I was like, "What happened?" So I was like, "Oh my God, I just said that." So you know, it was that thing when you go into the hostel, what pastor?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So from that time, I really just how I dealt with it. It was really more of like internally, you know, because I mean, everyone would talk.
Yeah.
But if you have peace with yourself, you've already overcome it. So I was really just trying to not beat myself down.
Right.
And realizing, saying I've made a mistake, and mistakes do happen. You will always make a mistake at the end of the day. So so I was really just trying not to beat myself down, to encourage me, saying it happens, you know, these things happen. And just trying to just live life like nothing even happened, you know, because I mean, they'll stop talking about it and we'll just go back to our normal life. So why should I keep beating myself when, you know, I can just make peace with it and just move on? So
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. What I would add, so if you're listening to the program right now, with the situation and scenario that we have painted right now, one thing that I would add to what Kaingu has advised and what his advice is, you need to deal with it internally. People are going to talk. People are going to have whatever their standard is. Yeah. But you need to make peace with yourself and be able to move on. But what I would also add to that is this. It's an opportunity to show people the grace of God. Because most of the time when people are putting that, when your friends are putting that standard on you, they probably do not understand the grace aspect of the gospel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you become an example of somebody that let me just say, they watch you for how you deal with when you err, right? It's an opportunity for you to share the grace of God. It's an opportunity for you to explain to people and say, hey, I'm saved by faith through grace. Listen, I'm not the one who lived the perfect life. That is Jesus. It's an opportunity for you to re-explain the gospel to people and help them understand. Because some people are even afraid to come to Christianity because they feel that they need to get clean first before they come.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you can use those moments as an example, as a way to explain to people, to lay off that burden of trying to be perfect. We shouldn't be trying to be perfect. And hey, I'm not trying to give you an excuse to go out and sin.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you that Jesus is the one who lived the perfect life, not you. You will err, you will make mistakes.
Yeah.
How do you forgive yourself? How do you carry yourself? How do you bounce back?
Yeah.
What kind of a Christian are you?
Yeah.
Right? That actually becomes such a powerful testimony to all of your friends. They'll also be able to give themselves grace when they stumble, when they fail, and they can come to the saving grace of Jesus because now they get the grace aspect. So hey, it's an opportunity. Yep. So
Yeah.
that is what I would
Yeah.
add to
It's
that.
really profound. Really
Yes, sir.
profound. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
7 in the church. How do we get to start playing for musicians? How does that happen? How does that transition of your job happen?
Yeah, my job happening. Wow. Okay. I personally, this is what I concluded, like what, because I used to post a lot of like content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always down there with throwing heart emojis.
Appreciate
I
it
got
so
you.
much. Yeah. So I always used to post content of like me playing in church,
Yeah.
directing and stuff like that. So I guess that's how people go to know, like, okay, no, there's this guy doing this and this guy doing that.
Right.
And then I started getting calls for like certain,
Yeah.
events and certain. So I guess it just started building from there. You play this event, these people know you, you connect. These people tell these other people about you. You work with them, and that's how the connection just got into the industry. And I can really just say it's like the people that I've just worked with, that have really just spoken for me. You know what I mean? That have really just created the doors for me.
Nice.
That I can really say have helped me work with like a lot of artists that I have.
The
worked
Bible
with.
does say your gift will open doors for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which artists have you worked with so far?
So far I've worked with Esther Chungu, Pompi, the African Eagle,
Hey.
Mag 44, excuse me, Abel Chungu, Rachel. I'm sure your people know Rachel. Wow, who else? Man, who else? Would you be able to remind me? But anyway,
The list is epic as is
yeah.
right
But
now.
anyway, to mention a few, those are the ones.
I got you.
Yeah.
How does this work with balancing school, which we're gonna get into at some point?
Yeah.
Right. How do you balance your time between this school and still serving in church?
Still serving the church. So so one thing that I even try to tell people, like, at the end of the day, you really need to do what you have to do. If I may say that. That's just the honest.
Elaborate. What you mean?
Yeah.
What do you
Like,
mean?
for example, I recently just got back from tour. I was on tour with Pompi. And that means I had to miss class. So I was out of class for like 3 weeks.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Did you have like midterms coming up now?
Yeah.
All right. Now you got this.
Yeah,
So
I
how do you-
appreciate it. So now,
Yeah.
it's that thing where you really have to think about it and really just decide on your own. I mean, I obviously talk to my parents about these things.
Yeah.
And they just tell me saying, you know what, we support you, do it. But make sure the other things don't suffer.
Yeah.
So, I would say that really just do what you have to do and then always find a way to try and balance. So one thing I do myself is when you've allocated this time for school, do it with everything that you have. Like, do it with everything. Switch off everything, just focus and zone in for that time. In everything. If I'm in rehearsal, I'm in rehearsal. If I'm in class, I'm in class. If I'm studying, I'm studying. So that I know that even if I go do something else, I know I've already done that for the day or for that particular time. And that's how I know saying, okay, I'm on track. And then I keep on doing that. And that's how I try and balance everything so that nothing suffers. Yeah, so even like for church,
Yeah.
okay, but honestly for church, it's really suffered a bit. Because I really had to try and balance everything out. But I think it's the one ministry-wise, not as in not going to church entirely.
Okay.
But ministry-wise. Yeah, because I mean that...
So this is serving via
Yeah,
playing the keyboard
exactly.
with the choir, but not going to church.
Yeah, not going to church.
All right.
Yeah. 'Cause
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah, I think I had to.
I got you.
Yeah, because that one requires a lot more, like ministering like every Sunday, because I mean you have to literally be in church. I mean at church every week, like throughout the week. You have choir rehearsal like 4 times a week,
Eish.
and then you have to play on Sunday. So that's like a lot of time. So
I got you.
yeah, I could really summarize how I try and balance those off in that way.
Okay. I hear you. Ministry and business. How do you
Yeah.
how do you balance? There's a lot of conversation around ministry and business, right? Playing keyboard is your ministry, but it is also your gift.
Yeah.
Right? So that means that if I would like you to come and play for my concert, you need to make a decision whether how you processing this on the business aspect and also on the ministry aspect. How have you found that balance? What's the balance for you? What's your philosophy, perspective? Talk to me.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, ministry is at my church. Yeah. That's how I've concluded it. Ministry is at my church.
Come on.
Anything outside, let's talk about it.
All right.
You know? So what I do is I look at the opportunity, I look at what has come to the table.
Right.
So I try and be as realistic as I can, saying, okay, this opportunity has come, what do I do about it? First and foremost, that's my first thing to do is to pray about it, to ask for direction about it and like what to do with this opportunity. And then that's how I think I just try and make the decision to move forward from it. So there are really times where some opportunities that will come and then you think saying, from this opportunity, I'm really gonna, charge them, get a big check from it and stuff. But then I just come to realize saying, I don't think I need to do that. Like, let me just, go serve. Yeah, and there are really times when it's really clear saying, okay, this is a sign from God, you need to go make your bucks. Yeah.
So God gives you signals for both.
Yeah.
Like, I don't charge them.
Yeah,
you need to.
Yeah.
You need to get your money.
So I really just try to, calm down, think about it, pray about it before I even, Because even like when someone calls me for, more especially church ministry, I really sit down to think about it and to say, okay, let me do this. Yeah. Even if they're offering, I really think about it, saying, okay.
Should I be taking?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, so it's pretty much that.
I like that. Where does that come from? When did you start doing that? Because I don't know if everybody does that. I do not know if everybody is making a decision on what event to go to, what event to take on, who to charge based on what the Holy Spirit is saying, or even how much to charge based on what the Holy Spirit is saying. Where does that come from for you? When did you realize or feel like, no, I need to involve God in this aspect of my life? 100%.
Yeah. I think it was, honestly, I think it was early this year, actually.
Let's go.
When I got the call from Esther's management saying, okay, there's this event, we want you to be music director / keyboard player on it. So I was like,
Oh, hold up. Explain the difference.
okay, cool.
I like what I'm hearing with the director part.
Okay, yeah. So musical director is pretty much painting the picture music-wise for the event. You know, like programming on your laptop, like making parts for the guys, bass player, drummer, you know, those kind of things. So yeah, and then playing on top, like at the actual gig. So
that is huge.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do not understand the difference.
Yeah.
That is huge. Big ups to you, man. That's dope.
I appreciate it.
As you were.
Yeah. So when I got that call, firstly, I really just paused and I was like, God, thank you. Because I was really praying for like a breakthrough like that for like this year.
Amen.
And it happened. So I really just paused and I was like, God, you've given me this opportunity. What do I do from now?
Amen.
And that was me realizing, saying, okay, wow. I'm actually really pausing to like, you know, take it in, saying, okay, what's the game plan? What are we doing here? And I think it was from then that that happened. Because everything before that, I was like, oh, there's this gig. I had a figure in my head. Send them the invoice. It goes through, you know. But from that point onwards, I was like, okay, let me see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the significance of it? So I just tuned into the men's table. There's this young 20-year-old young man who tells me he's played with Pompi, Mac 44, Esther Chungu, Rachel. Hey, amazing names, amazing ministers in the gospel.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't do what he's saying. I've never thought of involving God in every deal, every aspect, praying how much I should charge.
Yeah.
Okay, explain it to me. I've just found the show. I'm listening in. I'm also an artist.
Yeah.
I'm listening in. Please explain it to me. Why is this important? Why should I add this to how I go about ministry and business?
Because sometimes I feel God puts opportunities for us, sometimes to even test us. To even test like what we would do in a certain situation and how we would take it. Sometimes God will put us in a situation saying, we know for sure we're not supposed to do this, but you would want to do something like that. So he's trying, I feel sometimes he tries to see where we would go with that. And sometimes I feel that he wants to teach us a lesson too on how to handle such things. So, not that I've experienced anything. Okay, I've experienced quite a number of events that I really feel I shouldn't have played. And I think that really just concluded that for me, saying, you know what, I think this was God trying to speak to me. Because there are quite a number that I feel saying, if I prayed about this one, I wouldn't have wasted my time.
I got you.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess it was from that point. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I've answered the question.
I think you have.
Yeah?
I think you have, yes.
Okay, cool.
I think you have. So for you, it's God is testing us with what he gives us, right? And also, it's a navigation. It's not everything you should take.
Yeah, it's not everything you should take. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Cool.
All right. We are gonna go for a break, and when we come back, we're gonna pick it up again with Mr. Kaingu Silumesi. Thank you for joining us. If you just joined us, you're through to the men's table. We are taking a break now. We'll catch you in the next hour.